I'm Tom, Tom's daughter. No, not my daughter. Just two idiots in a car talking about stupid shit. It's not going to help anyone's mental health. People are crazy. This is a start. Wish us luck.
Is my name necessary or not? Hello, hola, konnichiwa, and hello.
I just have hi, by the way.
Boring.
Yes, I am a bit boring.
That's okay. One of us can be boring.
Yes, that's definitely going to be me. So, we are out and about another weekend. We drove down from Melbourne, and at the moment we are close to Frankston, another beachside area. And this whole trip down here, we've been talking about different things, and maybe a bit of a deep dive into friendships and other things. That is the plan for today.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
I'm glad you mansplained what we're doing.
And just because I'm a man and just because I explain things, that doesn't mean I'm mansplaining.
Oh, sorry, I got the definition wrong. I'm so sorry about that one.
I definitely can explain what the definition should be.
No more explaining.
Okay,
Let's go
okay,
to the
okay. Let's not over explain things here. I think we did mention that we are both from different parts of the world, and we.
Which part are you from?
No, I'm not gonna explain that now. So we moved to Australia in different times. I mean, I've been living here for almost 13 years, and you've been here 7.
Next month, 7, yeah.
7 years.
Crazy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people move around the world these days. Everyone is going everywhere. You have a lot of opportunities in different places. Makes sense. And when you do that, there's a lot of challenges that it brings forward to. You have to literally uproot yourself from wherever you were born and your surroundings, and you have to start somewhere new. And you're going to lose all your comfort and all the support system that you built, and you're going to start somewhere. And that's where the whole dilemma of friendships or losing friendship comes into today's episode. So I am going to let you explain, or
Well, first of all, I want to say
Mhm.
it's wrong. You don't lose all your support system. I know when I left, I cut a lot of people, I deleted a lot of numbers, and I only transferred like 20-ish friend phone numbers to my Australian card. But that doesn't mean you lose all of them. That just means you sort out who's your real friend and who isn't. And I can say from my point of view, most of the numbers that I arrived to Australia with,
Yep.
these friends I still have. And even though I haven't seen them in 7 years, they are more supportive than I could ever ask for, and they're still there on a daily basis. And 7 years not being able to catch up, 2 different lives, 2 different countries, still talking on daily, weekly basis, to me is a real friendship.
Okay. I can kind of relate to it because I have few friends. We don't really talk a lot, like every day or something. We do talk every now and then. And even though it's been years since I have seen some of them, there is no gap. Like, it doesn't. I mean, they have their own life and they have different things in their lives now. Like, some of them even have kids these days. So I think there's few things that changed in their lives, but when we get together, like when we see each other after a few years or something, it feels like no time has passed between it. There's no gaps. In saying so, I have also lost a lot of good people from my life. Again, it's not easy to keep in touch with a lot of people these days. Purely sometimes the difference in time can come into place. Like, some of my friends are in Europe, and Australia and Europe is like a lot of time difference. So
time difference is utterly complicated. Even when I try to call home or my friends in different states in America, it's tricky.
It can get quite tricky quite fast. It also brings that challenge of making new friends, and it's easier when you're younger I think you're more approachable or you're more fun to be around.
I think you're also more open.
Yes, you're definitely more open. But as time goes on, you get set in your ways, I guess. And you have different priorities, like sleep. As example, like I would rather sleep than go out.
That's the right person. I mean, the sleeping part, totally mine. The part before, that's totally you.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Again, this is one of the things I told you before. Like, if my father was still alive, he would be like, this, he has no discipline, he has nothing. He's not going to make anything good in this world. But I wonder if he saw me now, I wonder what he would be thinking. Like, is this the same person?
No, you would think you're in that case and you got swapped by aliens.
he might think that way too. He might think this is not the guy I know. He looks like my son, but I'm not entirely sure what changed here.
A lot.
A lot.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in my life, things changed, and I think I got a bit more self-disciplined and maybe a bit more routined. But the problem with that is making new friends in a different country is not the most easiest thing in the world.
It's pretty hard. I mean, I made friends over apps and everything while
Yeah.
traveling. And sometimes it worked amazing. I have very good friends, but sometimes it's very difficult. But I think the way we met is a good way, but you also have to be open for it. Not everybody goes to a big event to talk to strangers. And
No.
yeah.
That's the thing, like when I was young, I don't think I would have ever signed up for that event. Like, I don't know, like 100, 150 people coming together, getting divided into 5 or 6 groups, and you're going to talk about life and all the other things in lives, and yeah, and meet new people and hopefully find new friends who are similar to, your similar temperament or something like that.
I think the hardest part for most people is the catching up part. It took us over a year after the first event, accidentally bumping in on the second event.
Yes.
You not even knowing if I actually wanted to talk to you or not.
I didn't think you did.
Well, why in the world would I waste my break from facilitating the meeting
Yeah.
to talk to you instead of going to the toilet?
I thought you were just being nice. I was having finger food and I saw you and we talked for like a few minutes and I thought, oh my god, I'm holding you up from whatever you wanted to do, and you were just being nice.
Yeah, I'm not that nice.
I know that now, but back then I thought very differently about you. I thought, yeah, she's a nice girl. But no.
Oh, okay, you thought differently. What?
I thought you were nice. That ship is long sailed now.
Yeah, I see the point. What else are you thinking different now, please?
That's a lot. Some of them you can't really say that out.
Oh, it's just the two of us. And
Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 people listening, so no secrets.
No, I thought, we had a really good conversation the first couple of times. Then, was it 2 years ago when we finally sat together and talked like few hours?
Yeah, must be.
That was 2 years
Definitely,
ago.
yeah.
And that day we did talk about a lot of stuff. And that's when we kind of were like, okay, we can have a good conversation. We can be friends.
Yeah, but it took so long. I wanted to catch up with you because I wanted to learn some more photography.
Of course.
It never worked between all the work and not knowing if you want to hang out, you not knowing if I'm serious.
Yeah.
It took ages.
We had a very weird
Ages.
space where we both didn't know whether we were just being nice to each other, just saying and replying to each other's messages, or we
Not
really
nice.
wanted to. Yeah, I know.
My intention from the start was, you're a weirdo, I like you, I collect weirdos.
Oh yeah, of
We need
course.
to
So
catch up.
that's the basis of the friendship. So she thought I'm a weird person, and she wanted to collect more of them because that's what she does in her life, collecting
Weirdos
weird.
are the best people. I have a very proud collection of weirdos in my life. Very proud of it.
Okay. But as fate willed it, we became friends and we have these sort of conversations, and now this is where we are.
You regret it ever since.
And no, this is nice. And we're kind of doing all these things that we usually wouldn't do. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable having a video of me doing this. And sometimes it's, I mean, when we had the first video, I was thinking like, is there something really I can do? Like, I'm not really comfortable or confident in front of a camera or doing things of this nature. But I also think it's okay. In the last few years, there was a lot of, I don't know, things that made me kind of grow into these kind of things. Like, I got more comfortable about my own self. There was a lot of things that I had issues with about myself. Like, I even tell her even now about my voice. Did not like it. I could not stand my voice. But apparently now I can, and I can have my own face shown in a video.
It's okay. It's dark enough. Nobody can see.
Okay, tone down the racism a bit, okay? A bit. A tiny smidge is okay.
Look at the difference.
Oh my dear God, this is gonna go so well.
The last video we started with the light of darkness, the Lord of darkness and the Lord of light.
Yeah.
Now we have the same setting in the
Yeah, but that was hypothetical and conceptual.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that explains it really, really well.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back to the point, we were talking about making friends. I found it really hard, but sometimes you kind of walk into the right people, and if you happen to have that, we may find some really good friendships, which is what happened between our case. So there was few health issues that I faced, and I didn't tell anyone at that time, and she kind of wanted to know so much, and I wouldn't tell her until the day of my surgery or the day before. And yeah, she found me in the hospital, and yeah, that
That was a hard job, okay?
yeah, I know, I
You
didn't.
can't be like, oh, I'll text you when I wake up.
I was just being difficult. I know.
I'm glad we agree.
I know. I am difficult at times. I just thought like I shouldn't trouble anyone with these kind of things. So I wouldn't tell her that I was going to have a surgery, and
Or what hospital?
yeah,
Or
I wouldn't
which
give her the
ward?
details. That's the point.
Mm?
But she did come to see me. She sat with me for a few hours and talked to me for a few hours and made sure that everything is okay. The next day, when I got released or discharged, released.
From
I can't say
prison.
released. I got discharged from the hospital.
Get out of prison.
And they said someone needs to be there. I can't just walk out of the hospital and go home. And they said you need to go. You need to go home, but you need to make sure that you're okay. So she is.
Somebody was there.
Yes, and also she is learning nursing. So she had some of an idea like how to take care of people when they're sick.
You think? That's when I started. I didn't know.
I know,
anything.
but you see, you still did take care of me, so eternally grateful for that.
You should be.
I know, I am.
That was a tough 2 days.
I'm saying that to everyone outside, okay?
Ooh, everybody. 5 people.
Hey, you need to start somewhere, okay?
Okay.
That's all it is.
Well, now I have it on record.
Okay, you have it on
Eternally
record.
grateful.
Eternally grateful,
Good.
okay? But yeah, friendships are a hard thing to. Sometimes you need to put a lot of effort into it, but I think you need to. And me saying this from a person who hasn't done that all the time, and I have lost a lot of good people that way because I didn't put a lot of effort into it. I made things messy. I had my own things going on, so yeah, I can't make any excuses for that.
Yeah, but it's not a one-way street either.
Yeah, it's not, but I don't know. When you have friends, and sometimes you are not gonna see eye to eye, and that's okay. But if you want to keep them, okay, this is a hard thing for me because I don't know, like when you are, maybe this is from birth. That's how I always felt it. You have a sense of things, and you have a sense of values of what you keep. In my case, from my childhood, I always put more value or more emphasis on the values of people than the actual people themselves. So when the values had a clash with my values, their values and my values, I wish I could be more forgiving to people, which would have helped my life immensely if I had just just let it go. They are my people. I have to, even though we don't really see things the same way it is, than taking it so much onto my heart that, oh, that did not sit well with me, but just let it go because they are your people. And I didn't do that a lot of times. And that resulted in a lot of broken things, a lot of broken friendship, a lot of broken relationship, and the ego didn't help. This is becoming really, really deep. Yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't thinking that.
No.
So yeah, that did break a lot of things, and I wonder, like, if I had learned it before to let go of the things and keep more emphasis on the people than the values they keep, I probably would have more friends and more people to turn to. But I was, or maybe I'm still am, a bit of an egotistical asshole. So I guess that's on me.
Yeah, a bit. Well, you come across.
Of course, I come across as an egotistical man.
You come across like you don't care. You come across rude. You come across like you don't see some people's points. There is some negative things that you can come across as.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think a real friend will see and understand that. And even though somebody doesn't put effort in and clashes, it can work out. But even when we didn't talk for a month, we were both too stubborn
Yes.
to text each other.
The stubbornness
So
definitely there. The stubbornness is
that didn't
definitely
help.
there. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, we had that issues too. Like there was a time when she didn't message me for a couple of weeks or a month, and I was like,
Because you replaced me.
oh my dear God.
Well, at least I felt like you made up with other friends, and then I was replaced in a way. Because it was always like, oh, I don't have time to hang out, but you can join us. I'm like, yeah, great. I like hanging out with us. I don't like people. I'm not a people-y person. And new people, I I prefer, not pretend. I prefer not to speak. And then it's boring.
Why would you do that?
Not
speak? Yeah.
Because I don't know what these people are, how these people think, and what to say to these people. And I am strange, okay? And I can come across very strange to people that are not like me.
Says the person who was the facilitator of the meeting of something that I attended. That's where I first met her. The meeting was talking with strangers, and you were the facilitator for
Yeah, I
that.
have a sheet of papers and I can ask people questions. Easy.
Ah.
I don't even have to think. I don't have to personally engage. I just talk and make people talk. I make people friends. That's what I did all my life.
Yeah, but be that as it may, you are also part of that group, so you have to make your friends too, right? That's the whole idea.
It's quite funny. Every step in my life. When I moved on from school, my best friend was at the same school, so we moved to a new school together.
Mm-hmm.
Then in a new school, I made a best friend.
Okay.
Then my two best friends became best friends, and I was out. That happened at every step of my life.
That's not fun.
Every now and then, I have a best friend or a friend. I make a new friend. They get together and they ignore me. That has been a huge thing in my life. Maybe I have an issue.
Yeah, I think you're afraid of that. Keep that loop keep happening.
Well,
again
I
and
think
again.
there is some childhood abandonment issues in there. But that's a difficult topic, and we should go back to the friendship.
Hey, I spoke about my egotistical ways, okay?
Yeah, I talked about my issue.
Yeah.
I have an issue. I have many issues.
Oh.
That's one.
Regardless of saying that, oh, I have an issue. We have multiple issues.
Hey, combined we can make a mountain.
What, Mount Rushmore? We're not doing that. Like, it just
Mount issue.
Mount issue, just your face and my face. Like, oh, this is.
That needs to be photoshopped.
Please don't make that thumbnail here, by the way.
Oh, okay, maybe.
The issues we hold.
General, I believe that, especially when it comes to traveling and friendship.
Yep.
You evolve. You learn a lot.
True.
The person I was back at home is not the same person I am now. And to go back to the issues, I have one fear. Since I'm not the same person, and my friends at home know me as that person, I will go back. And I'm afraid that if I go back, my friends don't like the new version. That scares me. But also the new version here has helped me make other friends that I would have never met. So it's a interesting thing.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, every now and then when I go to the place I grew up in, I have my friends there. And yes, we don't have a lot of gaps between us because it feels like I have never left. But there's also a lot of differences in life. Like, the way I live is different, the way they live is different. So I think the way I used to envision that is, I left that place and my life continued in a different way, and the life that we had back in my place, that didn't stop there. It went its own way. So we just had this divergence where both our lives were different paths. And when we come back together, yes, as a personal friendship level, there are no changes. But because there's so many things that happen in our lives, because the growth has been different for them and for myself, so there's always going to be that, which is okay. Because when I left, my friends did ask me, like, why do you want to live a peaceful life where I almost had everything? I was not born into any sort of rich lifestyle. I was just a middle class kind of a person, and I was perfectly happy with it. Never really wanted anything more than that. So I was happy there. I had my parents there and everything was great. But I also had this idea that you need to go out and travel and experience the world, the happiness, the challenges, everything. You have to face that because that's where you become a better version of yourself. It was really, really hard, but it was one of the best things I have ever done. And I wouldn't have my life in any other way. Hasn't been a smooth ride, and it doesn't have to be. But I would prefer this version of myself over any other version ever existed.
Yeah, I kind of agree. When I came here, I was supposed to wait another half a year for my friends to travel with me. One or two wanted to come. If I would have waited, I would have never made it thanks to COVID.
Yeah,
so if you don't,
that was a tricky time, right? Yeah.
If you have the opportunity, go and do it, because otherwise, I lived in America for a while, and the only thing.
She was in Texas, not just America. You have to say that you were in bloody Texas.
We don't have to push my friends.
Hey, I love Texas. I have never been to Texas, but continue.
I was an exchange student in Texas for a while, and I adore my family over there. I love them. I would die for them if necessary. That was one of the best and the most amazing things I've done. And that's one of the reasons why I came to Australia, because it gave me the strength to travel alone and the confidence and everything. And now I lost my point. I don't know why we're talking about Texas.
You lost your train of thoughts?
Yeah, there's no train. I left the station.
The station is empty.
It left me behind. There's a boat to board, and you.
Oh, this is my fault now?
Obviously.
No, of course. Blame the guy. Blame the man.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about like how the personal growth kind of supersedes everything, all the challenges that you face through. When I left, I left home in 2007, but that was for studying. But it was to the neighboring state back in India. So I could go back home within a couple of hours. So it was not really leaving the comfort. Yes, in a sense, but not really. Back in 2010 is when I left the country to Scotland. But that was a big change. And that's when you really have to start. I mean, that's when I did start my individual independent existence per se. Like, you have bills on your name. Back then, before that, there was no bills on my name. It was all on my parents' name and everything. So in 2010, I had my bills, and when I left, my parents gave me like a sort of a bank card and said, because I had told my parents, like, I'm gonna go and do it by myself and I will find a way. So they gave me some money if I do need to use it. And the first couple of weeks, I was like, should I use it? Because I had some money which they gave me, so I was living with that. And one day, a couple of friends who were in the same place, they are from the same area, but we all went to Scotland to study. They found jobs. This was Christmas time in Scotland, and they got jobs. And that's when everyone was like, oh, if they can get jobs, we should get jobs. And everyone started getting, like all these Christmas jobs. It's retail jobs, but it would give you enough. I mean, not enough, but it will give you something, so you don't have to depend on parents or any of the support from home. So the moment I started making some money, which I can tell you exactly, my first salary in Scotland was £6.55 an hour, and I was working in Marks and Spencer.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
£6.55. It's not a lot, and I think we could work 20 hours or something per week because we were studying, and you can't get a lot of things. I mean, I think the bus pass for a day was £3, and you may have like a 4-hour shift or 8-hour shift, but it was great in a sense that I didn't have any money saved up, because whatever I made was gone to rent and all the bills and everything. There was literally nothing. And I used to survive on these digestive biscuits. And I don't know if people are from UK, so there is the supermarket kind of a thing called Asda, and it's basic. So they had this noodle packs. So it's like every student's life. Like, you get like
You're describing my life.
everyone's life. Okay, you get like 10 noodle cake for £1. And that's what my life was. So that and the digestive biscuits. But the reason why I enjoyed it so much, because I had told my parents, like, I will do it by myself. And they were like, if you ever need anything, use this. But I was like, no. I left the comfort and I'm going to do it by myself. And I'm happy to take on any sort of difficulties.
That's an interesting topic, because I think it's easy to say that if you know you have a support system.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So I've been in a situation where I didn't have any support system, no matter who I ask. Maybe they can't help or whatever. But yeah, I think if you generally know you have the support system, you're brave, because you know you have
True.
something to fall back on.
True.
When you don't have that,
That's
you're
that
you're
would
more
be
cautious.
worse. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. It is 10 times more hard when you know that you're looking down the barrel of the gun. You're like, ooh.
Only one gun? There's multiple.
There's multiple.
In my life, there's multiple guns. I can see it very clear.
Yeah. So yes, in a way that I was more in a secured spot.
But that makes a huge difference. A support system, if it's family, if it's friends. If you have friends,
that's there too. I mean, there was times that I didn't even make rent, but friends were really good. So if at all somebody was starving, you were never allowed to starve, because your friends will step in. And some of my friends used to work in Subway, and they would bring, I think you get like a sub sandwich free at the end of the shift. And at the beginning days, they all had those subs. But after a few weeks or months, you have tried everything, and they couldn't stand it because you're just making it every day. And they just got so tired of it, so they'll just bring it for us. I'm like, great.
well, that's what I did at work. Sometimes when we have leftover and I know I don't eat it, I just be like, hey, who needs food? Who's hungry? Because what you give, you eventually get back, hopefully.
Yeah. Because you know what the funny thing is? That's a segue because you know that my favorite band, Alter Bridge, and one of
Who would have thought?
yeah, can you hear the marching? Yes.
Who would have thought?
So one of their songs, and there's a line in that which is probably I'll get that tattooed on me. What you give will always carry you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, their lyrics are really good. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I really like these guys. But anyhow, that's true. Whatever you do, that's gonna come back. I mean, that's a whole concept of karma, right? I mean, I'm not a big fan of karma, but
It's about Carmen, not karma.
oh yeah, it's about Carmen,
It's
not
all about
not
me.
Carmen.
No, but I get it. Yeah, I do believe that there is. Yeah, if you're a good person, good things happen.
Yeah, are we? I mean, you're definitely a good person. I can't really say that about myself a lot, but I'm okay-ish.
If I would be here when you would be a shit person, then I wouldn't be a good person either. So,
We kind of, yeah, match the dynamic, I guess.
so the question is, am I a shit person or are you a good person?
Let's call it in the middle, okay?
Oh no, that's an insult.
We're equally bad and we're equally good.
I am
Mm-hmm.
such a nice person. I walk back and forth to 3 receptions to find your hospital room. Who else would go through that much effort?
Well, I know, but I think that was more of the challenge of finding this place.
If any of my friends call me with a problem right now,
Yeah.
I will starve or die to make them feel okay.
Yeah, I know that's the problem with you. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to tell you because you will go crazy with those things.
I will not go crazy, but I will give my best.
Yeah, so this is a person who would do crazy things. Like imagine, let's say, I mean, when I was having the surgery and all that thing, even if she didn't have any money or she didn't have any food, she would come and look after me. That's the sort of craziness that I don't want you to do, but you end up doing it anyway.
Yeah, but you're just as bad. Every time you need to go eat somewhere, so I was like, you need to eat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's equally bad.
No.
Yeah, don't
No.
spend your money on stupid things.
Nah. I'm not gonna take it that way.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? We have gone through so many things.
We are
Certain
straying
friendships,
from
yeah.
the path on so many levels, and
Yeah. This is the thing that usually happens here. We start somewhere and it goes to like another 10 different things and all of a sudden like, okay, what were we talking about?
yeah, that's the issue. It will never be organized and scripted. It will always be a mess.
Yeah, I don't think we should do the whole scripting thing. This is
We
the way-
couldn't.
Yeah.
Even if we tried.
Yeah, I don't
even
think
if
it
we would
will
read from a
work.
teleprompter, we'd be like, do you remember this?
Yeah,
And the
there's
teleprompter
always gonna be
goes.
something that pops into your head all
It's
the time. Yeah.
impossible. Impossible. But yeah. The main topic is friendship. And I think friendship is one of the main things that keeps you going, that gives you energy,
Mhm.
that makes you fight. It's your support system. It's everything.
Yeah, I would second that. So I think okay, so if you look at people, I am always an individualist. So I always felt the individual has value and it matters, but at the same time community also has its equal importance. The way to build a community is by having your own people, and you need to have people in your life because a man or woman or anyone else,
Speak for yourself.
okay, yes, an individual can't exist as an individual or as an island. It needs connections, and that's one of the things that I find troubling in this world because we are lacking meaningful connections. That's what I was looking for. That's how I started going up to all these events of meeting new people and having a fresh set of perspective into the things that you believe or think to be true. Because if you are not testing the ideals that you hold, they're gonna become shackles at some point in your life. Has happened to me. and I'm trying to avoid that or avoid repeating that same mistake, because there are things that I absolutely believe to be the case, but it may not be. But until that input comes from, sometimes you can think about it by yourself, sometimes you can't. Sometimes someone else has to show you the way that that's not all the story is. There is other things that you need to consider. So sometimes you need that external input. And to have that external input, you need to have good people in your life. And as life is ever evolving, people will change, people will have other priorities, people will move. So all that will happen. So you need to seek out meaningful connections all the time. Otherwise, you will become an island over the time. And I would say, don't be. That's from a personal experience.
Don't be me.
Yes, pretty much. Don't be me, or be me, but better.
Yeah, but better.
But better.
It's possible.
I think that's enough for one episode. I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking we would go this deep into it, but there you go.
No, that's the thing. If we actually start talking, it always takes really deep, really weird turns. So, yeah, but this time we don't have an unresolved argument. Usually we very strongly disagree about something, but this is pretty...
Yeah, we're on the same page. That's strange. Usually that doesn't happen as well. But
maybe we need to record something else where we argue.
But thank you for listening, and that's this week.
Maybe next time we have a better question for you.
If you have any other questions, though, please put it down there and we can talk about it. Or again, external input, sometimes you need it.
Yeah.
Your face is like you're watching like a nuclear holocaust or something. Like, it's just
I'm sitting in the sun.
fine. Blame the sun now.
Okay.